Good morning again, friends. Are you having a nice time today? Yeah. If you're wondering where this voice is coming from, I'm over here on the left side of the window. My name is Larry. I'm a volunteer here, and I'd like to welcome you to the Open Sea Feeding Program. Now, if you're just joining us, be sure to take a moment and turn off the flash on your cell phones and cameras, please. The aquarium is a no-flash facility, and that's for the safety of the animals. Well, we're about to get ready. I just came from upstairs where our feeding team is to check to see how things are going. So we are about to do some really cool things. And it's a pretty cool program, a lot of things happening, so if you need to talk with each other, try to keep your voice down because this room is very, very live. And we want to make sure that all of our guests can hear. Now, before we check in with everybody upstairs, I'd like to describe this exhibit real briefly for you because it's amazing. This is the Open Sea exhibit. It's the largest exhibit in the aquarium. It holds 1.2 million gallons of seawater, and that's more than the rest of the aquarium's exhibits combined. In fact, to give you an idea of how big this is, you can park or stack 33 school buses in this exhibit. Good luck unpacking them, of course. So, you get the idea. And the reason it's so large is because this represents the largest habitat on planet Earth. We're talking miles away from shore, where you don't have kelp, you don't have coral reefs, you don't have sand. It's really just you and the big old blue. And to show you more of this exhibit, I have these monitors on either side. So take a look at those, because right now what you're seeing is the top of the exhibit, and of course it does look like a major swimming pool, right? We got some beams and some catwalks up there, and standing by up there is my colleague Natalie. She's also one of our aquarium educators, and she's going to help us with kind of the play-by-play from topside. So let's check in with her now. There she is. Good morning, Natalie.
Good morning, Larry. Can you hear me okay?
Really? Folks, let's all wave to Natalie. Get those hands in the air like you just don't care. Okay, she can't see you. But that was really fun for me. Natalie, we can hear you just fine. What's going on upstairs with our feeding team?
Excellent. Well, you know, we've actually already started with the feeding. Today we're going to be focusing on some of our largest as well as some of our slowest animals. First thing we're going to do is offer a very specific food to some of our slower swimmers here at the aquarium, like our green sea turtles. Do you see any of our green sea turtles right now?
Hey friends, look up there on the upper right-hand side of the window. That is the bottom end of a turtle. We see one at least, Natalie.
Oh, fantastic. The other ones just moved out of sight because we've lowered a target or a visual cue into the water. That turtle has been trained to recognize that as food, so it's come up to get an excellent vegetarian breakfast. We're also going to be doing a similar target feeding with our ocean sunfish. Just on the other side of this catwalk, we have two of our aquarists, and they're getting ready to lower some targets. Keep an eye out. Back at the exhibit, one of them will be shaped kind of like a cross, and the other one like a diamond.
Oh, Natalie, we can see those exhibits, and friends, there goes the sunfish right now, streaking across the water, as only a sunfish can do. And yes, that is the entire animal. We didn't forget to add a tail. So Natalie, that sunfish is getting into position. It's the first one.
Excellent. But the thing is that we're also getting ready to feed our 10 to 12,000 sardines. But we're not going to be lowering targets into the water for them. That would take just a little bit too long.
Absolutely.
What we're going to do is called broadcast feeding. Toss some food into the water and let the sardines go after it. Check over on the very back hand side of this exhibit. We're going to have one of our aquarists, Teresa, be tossing in some pellets as well as some krill for those sardines.
Down there on the
Start off
bottom.
looking like kind of a nice little brown curtain in the water.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And of course, we want Teresa is one of our all-time world-class sardine feeders. So we're going to hope that those sardines do come up to find that food. So Natalie, I'll take it away because the food is never in the exhibit. But before we leave, are you going to come down and meet your newest fans?
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't miss it. Enjoy the feeding, everyone.
All right, everybody, wave goodbye to Natalie. Still can't see you. Okay, but let's take a look at the top of the window there. You're going to see that sardine food out of the water, and that's really kind of a kibble like you would feed your animals. It's not vitamins and so forth. And the hope is that that food will drift down to the exhibit, hit some of those sardines on the head, wake them up, and they'll come up and eat. So we'll keep our eyes open for that. Because what you're seeing right now in the window are the sardines' natural predators. Those big fish. Let me point a few of those out to you. There's one. There's one. Oh, okay, I'll even tell you the names. Let's take a look at the top of the water. You're going to see a really thin silverfish with kind of a boomerang-shaped tail. That is one of our dolphin fish. Now they're named that way because their forehead kind of slopes like a dolphin's forehead, and they have some really cute, cool adaptations to help survive in this wide open space. There goes molar number 2. Straight look at the vapor trail that animal leaves. So back to our dolphin fish, they can actually flash different colors in the ocean. They'll flash blues and greens. So if you happen to see that, when they get excited, they do that. It's not your eyes and it's not the water's lighting effect. They really can flash. They can even flash bright gold. Now scientists aren't sure why they do that. They think it may be a form of communication. They think it may be a way to maybe look for a mate, kind of get all dressed up. Did I mention yellowfin tuna? Apparently they would like me to mention them. We'll talk about them in just a moment. Because those dolphin fish go by a second name. If we were in Baja, Mexico right now, they'd be called Dorado. That means golden one. But they're also a very popular restaurant menu item. Apparently the email was supposed to receive by the sardines, and here they come. So we'll talk about those guys because they smell the food. Now let's talk about how they're eating, because they are eating. They are filter feeders. In other words, they swim through that food cloud with their mouths open, and in the back of their throat they have a bony structure called gill rakers. Think of a pasta strainer. They can swim through that food with their mouth open, the water passes through, the food's collected on the gills, and they can swallow it. Remember I talked about that predator thing? Mom and dads, if you haven't had that circle of life talk yet, this might be a really good time to do it, because we do have fish that eat other fish. But in the aquarium, we keep everybody well fed, so those big fish tend not to ask their smaller neighbors over for lunch. Now, and we have a pelagic spinway, a lot's going on here today. Those dolphin fish are found on a restaurant menu. Who's had dolphin fish? You wouldn't order that. So they go by their Hawaiian name, mahi mahi. Oh, we have some seafood lovers here. Speaking of restaurant names, you've already seen the burst of speed by these silver football fish. Those are yellowfin tuna, also known as ahi. Are you getting hungry yet hearing all this food stuff? Because these are both sustainable seafood items. Now, what does that mean? Let me ask this. Where are my seafood lovers? Raise your hands. Okay, shame on you. You're in an aquarium. Just kidding. We actually want you to enjoy your fish and do it sustainably. That means the animals are either in abundance or they're caught in a way that doesn't harm the environment. So the aquarium has kind of done all the heavy lifting for you, because we've come up with a Seafood Watch consumer guide.
Look at that.
Now this is a way that you can eat and order sustainable seafood, which is good for the ocean's environment, and it's really quite simple. It's set up like a traffic light. It's got a green, yellow, and red zone. Green means go, eat all of those fish. Yellow are good alternatives, but the animals on the red list really need a break from fishing. So that's a good way to make sure that you enjoy seafood, your kids enjoy seafood, and their kids' kids will enjoy it. Now the sardines, of course, are taking over this screen. That's what they're supposed to do. And let's talk about how they survive in the open sea. They learn to school together. That means they swim in an entire big ball. And they do this because all of their enemies, all their predators, are visual hunters. That means they look after one fish, they see it, and they go eat it. But this schooling behavior is a way for them to stay safe. And let's do a little science experiment. I want you all to imagine you're a giant dolphin fish, and you would love to have a sardine lunch. So I want you to follow one sardine for 10 seconds. All right, pick your sardine. Ready? Go. Okay, who's still following their same sardine? Okay, look at me. Show me your sardine. Gotcha. stay protected in the middle of the ocean. In fact, they really do that schooling behavior with only 3 things in their mind. Number 1, stay in school. Number 2, just keep swimming. And number 3, I sure hope they eat Steve today, not me. You get the idea. Those yellowfin tuna, which are really putting on a speed show, are incredibly adept at bursts of speed. They have grooves in their body. They can tuck in those pectoral fins on the side and their dorsal fin on top. They can reach speeds of 40 miles per hour. And you've seen some of that. When they need to maneuver quickly, they'll raise that fin and use it as a speed brake. So incredibly hydrodynamic. Now, as Natalie mentioned, we also do different kinds of feeding for different animals, and I want you to see one of my favorites. This is a target feed for our 2 pelagic stingrays. So check out the monitors. They come to a target and they are so polite, they flip themselves over so we can drop salmon in their mouths. And if you haven't seen the stingray burrito, check this out. Aren't they cute? And they too eat restaurant quality sustainable seafood. So a lot of that going on. Now they've been a different time than today. The turtles and the mollusks should be released from their target feeding now. And the turtles, by the way, just so you know, they're more than 300 pounds each. They're both female, and we estimate their age at 65 years old. So at this stage in their life, they are vegetarians. So their diet consists of romaine lettuce and green bell peppers. Well, the sardines look like they have taken care of their first course. We may be seeing some krill out of the water. They have already gone in, but boy, don't they swim beautifully. Now we have another school of sardines in the bottom of the exhibit. They're different size. They're older and larger, and I'd like to think they're smarter. All the predators are up here. They're way down below. These are newer sardines, and they haven't figured out that maybe they need to keep a low profile, but they do come up to check things out. Well, if you may have noticed, I'm not alone over here anymore. Here's Natalie, live and in person, and she and I are going to be available to hand out seafood watch guides and answer any questions you may have about this exhibit. So we're going to go off mic, but thank you very much for enjoying the exhibit. While you're in this wing, be sure to go downstairs and visit Viva Baja and Tentacles, and you'll also see Vanishing Wildlife. It's the basement of this exhibit. Check out that scene. Have a great visit at the Monterey Bay Aquarium, everyone.
Let's just keep put for a few minutes. Interesting.